From the outside, their life resembled a modern American fairy tale. A young farming couple, united by shared dreams, built a future on vast stretches of Midwestern land, turning ordinary fields into symbols of ambition and resilience. She was magnetic, full of energy and passion for the soil, while he was steady and reliable, a quiet presence who complemented her intensity. Together, they embodied the perfect blend of traditional values and contemporary aspiration. The daily grind was more than labor. It became an identity, a narrative that inspired admiration. Friends, family, and followers alike saw in them a vision of hope, ambition, and hard work rewarded. Yet, as with any story that seems flawless, subtle cracks began to emerge. Beneath the smiles and curated content, whispers of strain started to surface, hinting that life behind the camera may be far more complex than it appeared. The rise of a farming lifestyle. What began as simple glimpses of daily farm life quickly evolved into something larger, capturing attention across digital platforms. Audiences were drawn to the authenticity of early mornings, muddy boots, and the hum of machinery rolling across endless fields. Farming, long considered mundane or outdated, became exciting, dynamic, and relatable. As viewership soared into the hundreds of thousands and eventually millions, the operation expanded beyond storytelling into a full-fledged lifestyle. Products, collaborations, and partnerships soon followed, blending enterprise with entertainment. Yet the core appeal remained: dedication, honesty, and a deep love for the land. Beyond crops, the farm became a cultural symbol, aspirational, authentic, and aspirational in equal measure. The couple's story resonated because it promised more than productivity. It celebrated identity, connection, and the dream of building something meaningful in an increasingly digital world. A marriage that seemed perfect. When they married in late 2020, it felt like the next chapter of a story already steeped in optimism. The ceremony, intimate yet symbolic, embodied resilience and commitment amidst uncertain times. He fit seamlessly into the narrative, outdoorsy, grounded, and passionate about a life rooted in the earth. On camera, they complemented one another beautifully, her charisma balancing his quiet steadiness. Fans embraced the pairing, admiring their natural chemistry and shared dedication. Their marriage strengthened the emotional core of their story, making the vision of shared dreams feel tangible. Together, they symbolized youth, tradition, and the promise of enduring partnership. Viewers didn't just watch two people, they watched a union that mirrored the very ideals they had built into their public persona. For a time, everything seemed aligned, the harmony between life, love, and work a perfect reflection of the narrative they had carefully cultivated. Early signs of strain. Over time, however, subtle shifts began to emerge. He appeared less frequently in videos, and when present, he seemed distant or distracted. Moments that once felt spontaneous now carried the weight of careful orchestration. Social media snapshots contained fewer candid moments, replaced by more polished, staged imagery. Fans who had followed them for years began noticing the difference. The playful interplay that defined the couple felt muted, the warmth less visible. Small actions, like fleeting expressions or pauses in conversation, sparked speculation among devoted viewers. No official announcements were made, leaving silence to fill the gaps. As attention increased, curiosity turned to concern. The audience that had once celebrated their love now questioned it, wondering if the outwardly perfect relationship masked deeper issues. The tension between image and reality grew, creating a quiet but growing sense of unease. A missing wedding ring. Then came the detail that intensified online discussion, the absence of her wedding ring. Across multiple videos, her left hand appeared bare. Initially, followers rationalized it. Farm work is messy, and safety around heavy machinery often precludes wearing jewelry. Yet as the absence persisted across uploads, the simple explanation began to feel insufficient. In public perception, a missing ring carries symbolic weight, often interpreted as distance, uncertainty, or personal conflict. Screenshots and slow-motion clips circulated, feeding speculation. The detail, small yet noticeable, became a focal point for a growing rumor mill. Fans debated its meaning endlessly, interpreting gestures and expressions through the lens of marital tension. What might have been a practical choice instead became a narrative device, shaping perceptions and creating a sense of drama that no caption or post could fully clarify. The ring's absence, intentional or accidental, became a signal that something had shifted beneath the surface. Divorce rumors take hold. As speculation intensified, the idea of divorce entered the conversation. Followers dissected video interactions, tone, and body language, looking for evidence of distance or disagreement. Some argued that the warmth between them had faded, while others defended the couple, suggesting that observers were over-analyzing ordinary life. Still, once the notion of separation was introduced publicly, it proved difficult to suppress. Silence from the couple compounded suspicion, leaving fans to fill the void with their own narratives. The once celebrated partnership, perceived as unbreakable, was now under scrutiny. Online communities debated every detail, from casual glances to work routines. Each interpretation added layers to an evolving story that went far beyond simple observation. Whether grounded in reality or not, the idea of divorce became part of the collective consciousness, shaping how followers understood the couple's public persona. Concerns about health. When divorce alone failed to fully explain changes in his appearance, another theory surfaced: illness. Observers noted fluctuations in weight, fatigue, and subtle signs of exhaustion. Online searches pairing his name with serious conditions, such as cancer, increased, reflecting concern and curiosity. This narrative offered a sympathetic explanation for distance and withdrawal. Supportive messages, prayers, and encouragement filled comment sections. For some, this explanation was comforting. It suggested resilience and hidden struggles, rather than conflict. Yet there was no confirmation, no medical disclosure, only speculation based on visual cues and perceived patterns. The story spread because it provided context for the observable differences in behavior. It offered a way to rationalize absence and emotional distance while preserving a sense of admiration for the strength displayed in public. Silence as its own statement. The absence of official clarification became a defining element of the story. Rather than addressing rumors, the couple continued with routine farm tasks, maintaining their content output without acknowledging speculation. In public life, silence can be strategic, a way to preserve dignity and privacy, but it can also fuel conjecture, giving space for the imagination to fill gaps. Every ordinary interaction was analyzed, and ordinary content took on extraordinary significance. Viewers scrutinized gestures, eye contact, and subtle behaviors for meaning. The more unremarkable the videos appeared, the more extraordinary the interpretations became. Over time, silence transformed from a personal choice into a narrative device, turning privacy into mystery and prompting questions about what was real, what was hidden, and what struggles might exist beyond the lens. The weight of a hidden past. Beyond divorce and illness, some wondered whether deeper, long-buried issues could explain the strain. Reinvention and a return to rural life can mask unresolved guilt, financial mistakes, or past regrets. Such experiences, though hidden, have a persistent presence, influencing behavior, mood, and energy. Living with unaddressed guilt can erode confidence, reduce spontaneity, and create a sense of isolation. In a life increasingly observed by millions, this internal struggle can magnify, with every new follower perceived as a potential witness. History, no matter how distant, exerts pressure. The contrast between an idealized public life and private turmoil can intensify emotional fatigue, manifesting as withdrawal, exhaustion, or strained interactions. Observers may interpret these symptoms as illness or relational conflict, when in fact they reflect the psychological burden of carrying a hidden past, psychological strain and isolation. The psychological toll of unresolved issues is often subtle but profound. Sleep disruption, fluctuating appetite, emotional volatility, and social withdrawal are common consequences. For someone managing both a public presence and a complex personal life, the strain multiplies. Every public appearance, every post, becomes a balancing act between maintaining perception and protecting private stability. Anxiety about exposure, judgment, or misinterpretation can create additional stress, compounding physical and mental fatigue. This tension can be mistaken for marital conflict or illness, while the root cause lies in internalized pressure. Living under constant scrutiny while managing personal guilt or unresolved trauma is exhausting, and even routine interactions may feel emotionally draining. For viewers, only fragments of this experience are visible, leaving space for speculation and misinterpretation. Navigating public life and private reality. Balancing public exposure with personal life introduces unique challenges. Managing land, employees, and content production is already demanding. Layering fame onto this reality intensifies pressure. Transparency may strengthen trust, but oversharing can erode privacy and well-being. For someone with a complicated past or present difficulties, disclosure carries high stakes, financially, socially, and emotionally. Remaining silent can protect stability, but it comes at the cost of emotional isolation and public speculation. Every choice becomes a negotiation between authenticity and survival. Maintaining a functioning farm, a family unit, and an online presence requires constant attention, energy, and restraint. The strain of sustaining multiple identities, farmer, partner, public figure, can be invisible but deeply felt, manifesting in subtle shifts in demeanor, energy, and engagement. Conclusion: beyond the camera. Ultimately, this story is less about gossip and more about the tension between perception and reality. A thriving farm, a large audience, and curated content can mask strain, fatigue, and unresolved personal challenges. Rumors of divorce or illness may reflect symptoms of deeper struggles rather than literal truths. Whether rooted in guilt, stress, or private hardship, the pressures of sustaining both public and private life are immense. What matters most is honesty, healing, and communication, whether with oneself, a partner, or an audience. Life, like harvest season, demands patience, care, and attention. Behind the camera, the couple faces the same challenges they once shared with joy. The question remains, can the balance between personal well-being, partnership, and legacy be restored, allowing the life they built to flourish once again?